Wow, look at this room. It's fantastic. Jason, thank you so much for that introduction. But more importantly, thank you for continuing to champion the discussion around the attraction, development, retention, and advancement of women in this fantastic industry. This is an event that celebrates all of you and your individual and collective contributions to this amazing industry. I had the opportunity this morning to sit through the mentoring session, and I was truly energized by the young ladies I met. Truly, it was amazing. I wanted to share with you, as Jason mentioned, I lead the consumer and industrial products practice for the firm. And what that is auto, aerospace and defense, travel, retail, anything you touch, feel, or you get manufactured in this country. And what all of those sectors have in common is the auto industry. The auto industry is really the hub of what we do. And when I think about the auto industry, I think about creativity, innovation, and really reimagining the future. Do you think, by show of hands, how many young people, when we talk to them today, would think about creativity, innovation, reimagining the future when they think of the auto industry? If we talk to high school students or young people, how many of them would say that? I don't see any hands, very few. I think that's our job as leaders, to really make sure they understand this industry. You know, what's important about getting the right talent in this industry is because it's so exciting, right? The data out there shows that 84% of executives feel like there's a talent gap. Our research shows in the next decade, 2 million jobs will go unfulfilled because those people don't have the right skills to fill the needs we have in this industry. Women make up about 50% of the workforce, but in the auto industry, less than 25% of the workforce. So we've got this huge, untapped, underutilized resource. So I have 4 challenges for this group, 4 things that I would like all of us to leave and go out and do. And the first thing is share what you love. Share what you love and be passionate about what you love. You saw by the show of hands, very few young people really understand how exciting and innovative this industry really can be. You know, I remember being a first-year staff person, just graduating from college. I was assigned to a manufacturing client. I was assigned to go out and do a physical inventory. So I went out there, I got a tour of the production facility before I did the inventory. And I remember walking into the facility and right away knowing that this is where I wanted to spend my career. I got to see things from inception all the way through production. I could touch it, feel it, own it, want it. And that's what was so exciting about being in the manufacturing industry. And I've been very fortunate in my career. I've served some of our largest and most diversified worldwide manufacturers. And as Jason mentioned, I'm a mother of 2 girls, 8 and 11, and I love to share what I do with them. And so when we go out, we always talk about, oh, this is how that was made, this is how that cup was made, the table was made, et cetera. And, you know, and bring your kids to work day, Deloitte has that once a year. I always bring my kids to work. And they come into my office, and they see a whiteboard and a conference line, and they're like, Mom, this is what you do? You talk about the exciting manufacturing things. This is a whiteboard. So they scribble for a couple hours, and they're like, okay, I'm bored. So one year, I'm very close to the CEO and CFO at my client, I decided, you know what? They have a bring your kids to work day. I'm going to ask them if I could bring my kids to work, to their facility. And so I asked, and they're like, of course. We set up this production line. It'll be really, really exciting. And so I brought my kids to the production floor. They put on their goggles. They went out there, and they went through the production line. And my eldest came out of that, and she goes, Mom, now I really understand what you do. I really understand why you love it. And now she's starting the conversation about how things are made. So my first challenge to all of you is really share what you love. The second thing is be bold and develop boldness. This is an industry where mega trends like car connectivity, autonomous vehicles, shifting customer preferences, it's creating an environment that is ripe for innovation, transformation, and disruption. We have got to be bold in this industry in order to be leaders of this industry. So be bold and develop boldness when you go out there in the marketplace. It's so, so important. I am I'm 100% Indian by background, first generation. I'm a product of a single mom with 3 kids. And my mom, in the traditional Indian fashion, had an arranged marriage. and she was also in the traditional Indian fashion, didn't have a career and didn't have an education. And so when she found herself being a single mom of 3 kids, she made sure she instilled in us the value of education and career. And she taught us that there was no gender bias. We had to go out and go get everything. In 1983, I actually was a tomboy growing up. I kept my hair really short. I wore a baseball cap. I was the one outside playing with all the boys all day long. In fact, I think some of the women in the neighborhood actually believed I was a boy for a long period of time. And the mothers would always say to my mom, don't you want her to put dresses on? Don't you want her to go out and play with the girls? And she would say, no, she's doing what she loves. And so my mom never made me feel unusual for doing that. And in 1983, I had the opportunity. Cal Ripken Jr. was coming into town. The Baltimore Orioles had just won the World Series, and he was coming into town to sign autographs. And he was my favorite player of all time. And so I begged my mom, I'm like, I really want to go meet him. So we stood in line for hours to meet him. Got up to the front, and I said, Cal, I love you. I love the way you play. I love watching you. And I said, in fact, you and I shared the same birth date. We were both born on August 24th. And he was listening, and my mom nudged me, and she's like, Seema, tell him what you want to be when you grow up. And I said, Cal, I'm going to be the first woman Major League Baseball player. And he looked at me, and he said, you go, girl. Now, I didn't make it to the majors, accountant, Major League Baseball player. It's kind of a toss-up, right? But the point is my mom taught me to be bold and go after things and take really, really big swings in life. So that's my second challenge to all of you. The third thing is learn, develop, be agile, and constantly willing to take on the next challenge. In an industry like this, that is so important. I remember when the CEO of Deloitte came to me and said, Seema, I want you to be a candidate to lead the consumer and industrial products practice for the firm. This is the largest industry for the firm. We've never had a female leader in the firm, and I was the youngest of all the candidates. And the first thing I said to our CEO is, I'm not ready. I'm not qualified. In fact, there's an HP study out there that says men feel like they have to be 60% qualified to go for the next opportunity. Women, 100% qualified. The CEO on the phone said, Seema, I'm really disappointed in your reaction. How can you say that? Do you think anybody is ready for that next opportunity? Do you think anybody is 100% ready for that next challenge? He said, every time I've given you something to do, you've owned it, you've taken it, you failed. There's some things I disagreed with you on completely, but you went after it. You changed, you adapted. So I want all of us to go out there and ask for the next challenge. The fourth thing is I want us to build a legacy. I want us to be passionate and really strategic and purposeful about the legacy that we leave. It's so important. When I think about me, I think it's really important to celebrate success, to really get to know the people on my teams, and develop the next generation talent to take my spot. To me, upping the market value of my teams is critical. They have worked so hard for my success, it's really important that they know that I'm doing the same for them. Every fall at Deloitte, we have a group of new hires that start at the firm. And I have a tradition that I bring them all into a room, we all go around and they talk about their name, where they're from, all those kinds of things. And then I individually take each one of those new hires in a room, and I get to know them personally and professionally. I want to know what their personal and professional goal, because I feel like I can't really help somebody professionally until I really know them personally. So this year, this past September when they started, I took each one into a room, and I asked them their questions about personal goals, all these different questions. And every single one of them were so articulate. They were ready for the questions. So I went back to my manager group and I said, this is crazy. I've never had a group so prepared to answer all my questions. And they said, Seema, we met with all of them and we said that you would want to know everything about them, down to who they were dating. And a little bit extreme, but the point of it is that's my legacy. That I'm going to help each one of these professionals develop, but I need to know the personal side too. I need to know the whole piece. So I'm going to leave you with those 4 things, 4 challenges for this group. As you go out and you leave this room, I'd love us all to really share what we're passionate about. Show the love for this industry, all the way down to the youngest kids that we have. Number 2, be bold and develop boldness. 3, go after those challenges. Never think you're not ready. Don't succumb to the biases. And then number 4, really be purposeful about the legacy that you want to leave. I think if we all do this, we'll all be happier professionals. We all will want to be in this industry that is driving innovation, that's driving creativity, and we will reimagine the future. So thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's truly been an honor to be with all of you today.